Hello, this is Ugo Uche with Road to Resolutions, and in this video, I am going to be talking about relationships between spanking and low IQs. More specifically, the effect of spanking on intellectual abilities. So, in 2009, this gentleman you see here, his name is Maurice Strauss, Dr. Strauss, from the University of New Hampshire. He facilitated a study to find out if there's a relationship between spanking, kids who get spanked, and if it affects their IQs. And the results of the study was that children who get spanked uh, consistently would test lower on IQ test and cognitive test compared to children who came from homes where they were not spanked. Now, there are a lot of people who have blogged about this, they've written articles about this, I've even seen internet videos about this subject. And one thing I've not seen is somebody give an interpretation regarding why a correlation exists between spanking and low IQs. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. So, spanking is violence. That's the long and short of that story. And children, most children who experience violence, whether directly or vicariously, will almost always interpret violence as trauma in varying degrees. So, trauma on the mild scale, and then trauma on the extreme scale, which is PTSD. And there have been studies like this one that shows that exposure to trauma deteriorates intellectual abilities. And then there's another study like this one right here, the effects of psychological trauma on children and adolescents. I picked studies that actually focused on trauma on adolescents. And this one talks about intellectual and cognitive functioning. Several studies reported that abused children had higher incidences of mental retardation and significant lower intelligence quotients, IQ scores, as opposed to non-abused children. And so the more severe it is, the earlier it happens to the child, the more damage the child experiences as a result of being traumatized, intellectually speaking. And then there's this one: violence exposure, trauma, and IQ reading deficits among urban children. And the conclusion in the study: exposure to violence and trauma-related distress in young children were associated with substantial decrements in IQ and reading achievements. So it's pretty consistent, and the reason I feel it's important to put out my interpretation on the correlation between spanking and low IQ is that, not spanking your kid is not enough. You have to be cognitively aware of violence is just not physical. And violence could be verbal abuse, threats. And then for little children, violence can be emotional disengagement, and the effects are almost interpreted. The child will almost interpret it, neglect, abuse, verbal or physical, as traumatic, and it negatively affects the child's intellectual abilities. And that is because, when a child is affected, it's most of the when a child is when you're traumatized, you become very alert to danger, and you end up using most of your limbic system, which is the emotional center of the brain, for looking out for danger. Well, if you're looking out for danger, you're too busy to think things through or practice using logic. So this is the post I'm writing. I'm going to post it on Psychology Today, and I have the studies that I have discussed linked in this post. But at the end of the day, the reason I believe that spanking lowers IQ is because it's just traumatic, and trauma lowers IQ functioning because you end up using most of your limbic system, more specifically your primitive brain, to solve problems either aggressively or you're trying to run away, fight or flight. And if you're busy running away or you're busy fighting and lashing out on others, you spend less time thinking things through, and you don't develop the discipline you need to deal with difficult feelings. So that's it for now. My name is Ugo Uche, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it, leave a comment. Please be clean in the comment section, and share this video with parents and anyone you believe will benefit from it. Thank you. Take care.